Welcome to the Gloves Off podcast. I'm your host, Kendall Skalicki.
And I'm Josh Bartosik.
What a weekend, Josh. Okay, bear with me. I'm going to do a little recap and give first thoughts, and then I'll throw it to you, but just give me a few minutes to run through this. So, boy, were we wrong with our predictions.
Happens.
Did not go the way we were hoping. So, the overall theme of this weekend, and honestly the whole season for them, is starting slow. We saw that Friday night. They came out, went down a goal, but that first period definitely wasn't good for them, but it wasn't catastrophic. They played much better the second and third, went to overtime, had an awesome third period when Danny passed to Simon and they got that goal to tie it up. That was just so cool to see. But then, unfortunately, Wisconsin tapped it in overtime, which I think Arsenii really beat himself up over. I know he was not happy after the game, but you would think after that game they were going to go into Saturday and be like, okay, we need to start well. If we started well, we wouldn't have to be climbing back the whole game. They come out Saturday night, and I don't really know what else to say besides they literally got their doors blown off the first 10 minutes of that game.
I don't think,
when the period ended, I literally went to take notes, and I was like, what just happened? They went down 4-0 so quickly, so terribly, and I don't understand it. I don't know why it wasn't addressed. And then obviously in media, when Coach was asked about it, he said, you have to ask them. He basically said there's nothing else he can do. It was addressed and they know, but as a coach, once they're out there, and he can't do much about it. And, again, they came out the second and third period like a different team, but it wasn't enough to come back from being down 4-0. So it was just super unfortunate, and you can just hope it's addressed this week. I spoke to Dane Dowiak too, and he said that they all need to just look in the mirror, figure their stuff out. It is hard because I know some of them like to stay tight, some of them like to stay loose, but whatever's going on is just not working. And it's really a shame for them. It was honestly, it was such a bad weekend that I think they have to just forget it and move on.
Yeah, you kind of said it best. It's so tough when you know what the problem is, but you don't know how to address it.
Yeah.
And that's the issue that they're struggling with right now. Because even after Friday, everyone in that media room was like, yeah, we know what the problem is. It's starting slow. We know we're not going to do it tomorrow. And yet the next day was even worse than game one. Going down by 4, 8 minutes in, you're already down 40 seconds into the game, and you're down by 2 less than 3 minutes in. You're just setting yourself up for failure. The only positive that you can take, or there are several positives you can take out of this weekend. Both games, they fought back, almost made a comeback in both games. Game 2, I think personally they were going to win that game until the boarding call on Matt DeMarsico with about 8 minutes left. I think that kind of derailed them because it's tough to kill.
That was just not. He had a good weekend, but that really was not a smart move by him. It's when you climb all the way back, you just don't take a hit like that could go either way. So if you didn't know, he took a 5-minute major, and then Wisconsin very quickly got 2 more goals. I also want to say something about Noah Grandin. Obviously, he was not expecting to be out there, and I think when he first went out there, it was things were already spiraling, so he was probably holy crap, and they got 2 on him very quickly, but the rest of the game, he was outstanding.
I would agree. I think it's so tough coming in as a goaltender, number one, just being cold, and you're getting called into the game less than 5 minutes in. But then also being cold in the sense that he hadn't started a game since last January against Notre Dame or Michigan State, whichever team it was. I think it was Notre Dame was the last game he started almost a calendar year ago. So it's been a long time coming for Noah Grandin. And you mentioned it. It doesn't help that the team in front of him just was not ready to play.
Yeah.
Can't fault him for the third goal whatsoever, and the fourth goal came on a 2-on-1 rush. So, it's that stuff's going to happen, but he was probably one of the main reasons, I think, in that second period that it was still just a 4-goal game and not a 5 or a 6-goal game. He had some really, really timely saves. Did the best he could until the end of the game when Penn State kind of collapsed on themselves a little bit again. But, yeah, tough penalty to take for Matt DeMarsico. You can't make that play when you see the numbers.
It was so unfortunate.
Yeah, because, again, Penn State had all the momentum. I was talking with my broadcast partner. I was talking with the guys that were calling on the radio for Penn State Network, and we were all saying, we really thought Penn State was a shift or two away from probably tying that game and probably making a great comeback and winning that game. But they've got to figure out the slow starts. You can't keep it's so frustrating and I already mentioned it before, but when you know what the problem is, but you have no way to address it.
Yeah.
You have no way to address it. Guydowski said, he was like, I mean, it's up to them at this rate. He's kind of right. It's up to the guys. Like, he can only do so much. When it's puck drop and when it's game time, it's like you got to be ready to go. And they just haven't been ready to go. And they absolutely have to be this weekend when the top 5 team in the nation, Michigan, comes to town. You cannot start the season 0-6 in Big Ten play. I mean, you can. It just makes the road not just in the Big Ten, but also trying to make it to the NCAA tournament that much harder. I mean, Penn State now, after getting swept at home by Wisconsin, is like bottom 20 team in pairwise. So they've got a lot of work to do. They're going to have to find a way to sweep a series on the road at some point this season, but that's farther down the road. All in all, there were a lot of positives this weekend. It's so unfortunate because if you take away the first 10 minutes of game 1 and the first 8 minutes of game 2, Penn State wins that series.
I know they would have swept them if
they dominated.
Yeah, and they really did. So that's what makes it even more frustrating, though, is like that you see how good they can be. And when I was talking to Dane after I asked him the first question of obviously like what's the deal, like why are you guys starting so slow, and he said what I said earlier about looking in the mirror, doing what you have to do, whatever. And I was like, yeah, but you guys saw that happen Friday night and then came out Saturday and it was 2 or 3 times as bad as Friday.
That's the most glaring.
Yeah,
so
I was like, what's like the mental block? And he kind of just said, he was like, I don't know. Like we just have, like this week we just have to figure it out and it can't happen again.
It's at this rate, it's the only thing they have to fix. Yeah. Otherwise, they've been playing great hockey. The power play, Godowski switched up the lines to score 2 power play goals this weekend, both in game 1. One of them tied the game in the final minute. When Genev got that tip in. And then the penalty kill, besides the 5-minute major, was perfect. Mm-hmm. And again, it's going to be impossible to kill off. It's very tough to kill off 5 minutes of power play time, especially when that second goal came after that penalty killing unit was out there for like almost 2 straight minutes. It was bound to happen. But it's mind-boggling when you think about it because, like, especially after, if it was just game 2 when they started slow, that would have been one thing. But they started slow, not nearly as slow in game 1 than they did in game 2. But you started slow. You saw what you were able to do after starting slow. And you recognized the problem, and then you just fall even more flat in game 2. That was the most mind-boggling part. And maybe it was preparation on Wisconsin's part, which is, again, Wisconsin, good team. Their record was not indicative of the way they've been playing. They're a worse team than they have been in years past.
Yeah, but I was definitely expecting them to not be as strong as they were.
Yeah, they are not as good as they were last year, but the underlying numbers showed that they were just kind of getting goalied and getting a bad puck luck, and they got all the puck luck this weekend. I mean, you score 11 goals, you're doing something right.
Yeah.
And, of course, for Penn State, that just happened to come against them when they were trying to bounce back after a frustrating series against Minnesota, and this one is just more head-scratching than anything else.
Yeah, everyone was just speechless. Like, after that first period Saturday night, like, the rink was just so quiet, and, like, no one even knew what to say. You honestly have to just watch it to, like, get a grasp at, like, what really happened. But, like, I have never seen a team spiral so quickly in my life.
The worst part, the craziest thing, too, was, I mean, I was on the call for Big Ten Plus, and I was, 40 seconds into the game, you're just trying to set the storyline, and first few minutes you're trying to like set the tone and set the scene.
Like, whoa.
And I had no time to do that because Wisconsin came out and scored 4 goals in the first 8 minutes. But again, the resilience of this Penn State team cannot be understated. I mean, they've shown it night in and night out every time they play. The problem is that all they've been able to show is resilience because they can't get that first goal and they can't start on time.
That's so true.
And that has to change. If they score the first goal in one of these games against Michigan, I think if they score the first goal on Friday, I genuinely think they win that. I think they could sweep that series because I think it's kind of like when a player takes them so long to score a goal, they get the monkey off the back. This is a team monkey off the back. If they get that first goal. I think if they get the first goal in one of those games, or both, they win that game. Okay. I think they do.
I'm honestly keeping my mouth shut because of what I said
our
last
predictions
week.
have been, I think we are like 1 for 4 in the last 2 series combined. But, I mean, again, there are a lot of positives. Obviously, the glaring negative is the biggest problem.
Yeah.
But can't understate how well the team came back. Simon Mack had a great weekend. Charlie Serrato had a really, really good
Yeah, I was
weekend.
gonna
Aiden
say.
fainted as well. Matt DeMarco, like you mentioned, besides the penalty, fantastic weekend, even though he didn't necessarily show up entirely on the score sheet. Almost everybody that played had a great weekend if you take away the first period of both games. But, I mean, this team has a lot of talent. I think part of the problem might be just that they're young. They're very young. It's one of the youngest teams that Gajkowski's had in his tenure at Penn State since they were way back when just starting out as a D1 program. But they just got to figure out that to centralize the problem and fix it. And I think that eventually they will. It's just unfortunate timing that they're going to try and fix it against a team like Michigan that's very, very good.
Mm-hmm. And Guy also mentioned, like, a big theme that came away from this weekend, as you said, resilience and, like, that Penn State mentality of, like, playing tough, playing greasy, his favorite word. And they did that, and they did that well, and, like, the penalty minutes weren't horrible. Besides, DeMarco's was obviously, like, detrimental to the game, but he said, like, this is how we play. And another quote that Dane said to me that I thought was really awesome to hear him say was that every team in the Big Ten is talented, is a strong team. They know what they're doing. He was like, but we're a physical team, and, like, we're going to be more physical than everyone we play. And, like, that's our strength. So, like, they have to do that. They're going to take penalties. You cannot get a 5-minute major when you just call it four goals back, obviously. But, like, I love that they play like that. I think it makes them an interesting team. It's fun to watch. It's like, I do like that about them.
I think they have a really good mix of physicality and skill. I mean, the weekend against Minnesota, I think Penn State and Gajkowski talked about it too. They were trying too hard to score with skill and not get into those nitty-gritty areas. But they did both this past weekend against Wisconsin. They got down low, got some of those greasy goals, got some really nice-looking goals too. Aiden Finks in Game 2 and Game 1 especially. I mean, they used their skill and they balanced it out with the physicality. And they did have a few penalty minutes, but Wisconsin was a team that came in as the least penalized team in the nation, and Penn State got a boatload of penalties called on Wisconsin. They got under the skin, which, like you have talked about, is the physicality factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say, when I said, like, not bad penalty minutes, I felt like it was pretty even between the two teams all weekend. But yeah, that's I don't have much to say. I was so disappointed. I was in the tunnel for like the Friday night. I was like, oh, this is gonna be such a good interview, like overtime win. Then we lost that, and then Saturday night I was like, this is like the biggest comeback I've ever seen. And then it just was an emotional roller coaster.
Yeah, it was an emotional roller coaster. I mean, look, if you're just a fan of hockey in general or college hockey, just watch that series. I mean, if you aren't a fan of either team, or even if you're a fan of Wisconsin, that was still a great series of hockey. I mean, we saw, I think, almost 18 or 19 total goals scored in that series, and it wasn't like either team rolled over. Penn State especially this year has not rolled over when they go behind. I mean, they were down by 4 and almost came all the way back in Game 2. So it was a ton of fun to watch from, like, a non-biased perspective.
Yeah,
as a Penn State reporter, as a Penn State fan, obviously you're frustrated because the slow starts just continue to be a problem. They didn't even start that, and that's like they didn't start slow on the road. That's the thing. Like, they start slow at home, which is really weird.
It's so weird. Like, I genuinely don't even know what to say about it because I have no I don't even know how to explain it.
Because, I mean, it's definitely not the Roar Zone's fault. They are the best student section in the nation. Like, Penn State was great at the start against Minnesota in both games. They just couldn't get the goals. They were great on the road against Alaska. They started slow on the road against Quinnipiac.
I was going to say
that's the glaring one. But you go to both games against St. Lawrence at home, they gave up the first goal. Game 1 against St. Lawrence was like 41 seconds in.
I don't know if it's like a distraction thing or they're more nervous because it's like their own fans, so they feel more pressure. But like it's never been that way in the past, so like I don't know.
I mean, again, these are some of these freshmen. It's like their first time being in front of their home fans. Like in the college level, and at the same time, I mean, we talked about a little bit how Penn State had a kind of a grueling like away schedule. Like they've only played at home 4 times so far this year, and the Thanksgiving break is next week. Now they will play 4 more games before Thanksgiving at home, which might help them settle in a little bit more. I think the Colgate series will be really good for them to kind of settle in. But being so far away from home and being away from home for that long probably doesn't help in terms of trying to get the jitters out. Because I mean, I feel like you're a lot more nervous when you're playing in front of your home fans.
They just have to we gotta get over.
It's
it,
a mental.
like,
it's a mental.
It's Big Ten hockey. Like the Friday night game was frustrating. Saturday night, like the fact that they did it again, I just was at a loss. And they like
shock
Dane,
and awe.
yeah, like Dane said, I guess it's an individual thing for each guy. Like they just have to figure it out. So like all we can do is hope they get that together this week. I don't really know how you work on that.
It's so tough. It actually was really funny. I asked Coach about it after the game on Friday, just about like if he thought there was like anything that could pinpoint the problem, and he was like, I got nothing. You got any ideas? And I was like, if I did, I'd probably be
nobody knows.
Like,
nobody knows.
If I did, I'd be up there with you probably, Coach. But I just asked the questions. I unfortunately don't have any answers, and hopefully they find the answer this week.
Because they're like you said, there are so many positives, and like some of the young guys are playing so great. Like Fink, Genev, and Serrato. Genev's not young, but you know what I mean. They're all playing great, and
the talent. There's so much talent in this team. It's the mental. It's a mental hurdle that they gotta get through, and once they do, Penn State will probably make some noise, but they've gotta get over it soon because the season starts to slip away the longer and longer this goes on. I mean, you've got the Big Ten as a whole is so talented this year and so deep, and you can't fall behind the curve any more than you already have.
100%. All right, well, that's our rant about Wisconsin. Thanks for listening. We're going to bring on our guest now, and then we'll get into Michigan a little bit at the end of the episode. Okay, we are here with Jimmy Dowd Jr. and Arsenii Sergeev. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hello.
Jimmy showed up in his alumni top. Thanks for coming. When did you get
alumni.
that?
Yeah. I got it in the mail this summer, I think.
Okay.
I was super proud when it came in. Grad student this year, so I had to rep this on the pod.
Big grad student.
Yeah.
How are you, RC? How's your week going?
It was good.
Right.
Nothing crazy.
All right, glad to hear it. So we're going to dive in a little bit. This is, I think, Josh's favorite topic is your guys' dynamic. This is like kind of an unexpected, can I say bromance?
Yes. I guess. Nah, I wouldn't say that. We're just really good friends.
Well, you're best friends.
Yeah.
And you live together.
And we live together.
Yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
So take us through when you found out Arsenii was coming and how this living situation came to be.
Well, I had no idea because it was at the end of last year, and I knew I was coming back. So I had to look for apartments and everything, and our coaches were still like, oh, we're not sure who's coming, wait. And I was like, do I get a single person? Do I wait? You know what I mean? Because, housing gets so annoying here. And then finally, they didn't even tell me, who they were recruiting or anything. So I was like, I have no idea who the kid's going to be. And then all of a sudden, RC signed. And I was like, no way, let's go. And I called him or I texted him, whatever. And I was like, what's up, man? And I didn't even, ask him. I was like, do you want to live together?
Wait, did you guys know each other beforehand or no?
We did, actually.
Well, yeah, we did.
We was actually played together at New Jersey Titans.
Okay.
And it was my first year at the U.S. and it was so, weird because I couldn't speak English at all. Basically, me and Jimmy didn't talk and didn't know each other, basically. And then until I get here, and then it's just turned over as a good friend relationship, so I can best imagine.
It's so funny that the place you come over to is New Jersey. That's 20 minutes from my house.
Yeah, it's
you come over from Russia and you choose to come to New Jersey.
Yeah, it's kind of
worked out in the long run.
Yeah.
What was your first impression of Jimmy, or did you feel like he changed at all from when you were?
Oh yeah, he changed a lot.
In a good or a bad way?
In a good way.
How? Elaborate.
He was a little wild, crazy kid in New Jersey, and then now he is a grown-up man, and then I'll have to see it. And a little bit childish coming up, but it's so funny to see. And then
there's always time for it.
It's always time for one. It's just so funny to do it.
Jimmy, has RC changed at all? I mean, I know you couldn't talk, but was it funny not seeing him for that long and then?
Yeah, no, it definitely was because obviously when I heard he was signing, I was like, no way, it's RC, and he played with Dane too, so Dane was excited about him. Yeah. And I mean, we were living together no matter what, so but I was excited about that. But the summer was super fun because we got to get to know each other really well over the summer, and I was just every day we were just hanging out basically.
Yeah. We heard a rumor that you guys like to have sleepovers on the couch and watch movies together.
Oh, yeah, my favorite part about it.
Yeah,
Aww.
we watched.
And I can't call it a bromance, but they have sleepovers.
In the living room.
In the living room, yeah.
We what did we watch last night? Babadook.
Oh, Baba.
Ah, it's a great movie.
Oh God,
It's
this is
terrifying
scary,
movie,
right?
but
So
Well, last night actually was like, "Do you want to watch a horror movie?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure."
You guys like
That
get
was-
scared and like jump into each other's arms.
We
or
ended up
something
falling
like
asleep because we were both like, "All right, this is actually like really creepy."
Jimmy
So-
fell asleep like after 30 minutes movie start.
that. That's
After
impressive to
most
fall
movies.
asleep during a scary movie. Those things normally get me up.
Yeah. We
In
both.
the
Well,
morning.
RC like leaned over and he was like, "I'm going to bed. This is too scary." And I was like, I'm like
Aw.
looking like this, and I'm like, "All right, I'm done."
Yeah, I haven't watched that one. I didn't really have interest because it looked really scary.
It's terrifying.
All right, so but your roommates now, how has that been? You enjoy living together? Or actually, I'm gonna ask you a question. You have to be honest. What is everyone like gets annoyed with their roommates? What is one thing each other does that gets on your nerves?
You can start, Jimmy.
Okay.
Off the bat.
RC has been horrible at responding to his phone lately with rides and stuff, and there's been a lot of miscommunication.
Oh, that's.
But there's miscommunication pregame that, and this is for the viewers, a little fun fact that
Oh.
RC does not bring his phone to the games because he just gets
Never.
dialed in, leaves
Is
it at
that,
the apartment.
Like, did you just start doing that, or have you always?
No,
done
I
that?
was doing that like since the juniors.
Okay.
I like that.
I respect it.
Yeah, I love it. It just like gets your head clear a
Good
little
luck.
bit.
But I did
Until
not
he
know
needs a ride
that.
home.
yeah,
I did not know that.
I never thought.
And I told RC I was going to wait for him, and like 20 minutes went by, and I had no idea where he was, and I texted him, and I was like, "Why isn't he answering his phone?" Turns out he doesn't bring his phone to games.
Yeah.
No, that's okay. Whatever gets you locked in.
Me about Jimmy. I think he's a great on the cooking food, but he never even like inch of cleaning. Like, he just find the most messiest way to clean or to make a food and then just like leave it as it is.
Leave it for you.
Yeah.
That's so
I was a
true.
little housewife.
But you're housewife. But you're clean. You'll clean up.
Yeah, I just personally
RC
just,
is a
like,
phenomenal cleaner, I will say that.
I'm just super strict on the like everything will be in the right spot and everything will be clean. I just kind of grow up like this.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you guys are enjoying your living arrangements.
Yeah, no, UT's awesome. Our apartment's sick.
Yeah, I love it. It's
Yeah.
great.
Couple flags,
Decoration for Christmas.
decorations, yeah, Christmas
Got you into
decorations.
the spirit.
A couch that we found on the street this summer.
That was funny as hell.
Is that the couch that you guys like have your sleepovers on?
RC sleeps on that couch, but
Yeah,
I sleep on the
yeah.
couch that it came with.
Did you clean it?
Yeah, yeah.
Like a little bit, right?
Just
Yeah.
a tiny bit.
Yeah.
No.
And it was also raining. It was also raining that day, and
Yeah.
it started raining.
It was rushing.
And
to
RC
put
was
it-
like, "Yo, I found a couch outside," and I was in Crystal's apartment, and he's like, "We should get it for our apartment." I was like, "What do you mean?" And I FaceTimed, and I was like, "It's kind of sick." So we took it all the way into Crespo's.
And he was so pissed about it. He was just like,
He was so. It was there for like
move this couch the fuck out.
5 weeks. It was there for like 5 weeks probably, and he was so mad.
Yeah,
Well,
that's really
yeah.
funny.
Did it start smelling because of the rain?
No,
No.
like if you came over and looked at it, like you could probably be like, "Oh, you guys got that this year."
That's crazy. That's impressive.
It's a good couch too.
It's nice.
Yeah, we'll fix it too. Like it's now it's like work. It's electric couch. So
There's a
it's
USB port in with the phone charger.
Wait, that's someone got rid of that?
Yes.
yeah, it's a nasty
Well, they're
couch.
dumb.
Good find.
And
RC.
Shader was making fun of us at first, and he was like, "This couch is so stupid," blah blah. And then we were like, "No, it's actually not."
No, it's a great fit for our room.
It's a great find.
All right. Well, while we're on the living situation topic, me and Josh put together a little game for you guys. So we're gonna play
Nice.
like who's more likely to,
Okay.
etc. All right. Josh will
Yeah.
like switch on and off. Why don't
Yeah.
you take the first one?
Who is more likely to oversleep their alarm?
Probably you.
Probably.
I had the one morning where you had to wake me up. You
true.
knocked on my door, but RC's a master at taking naps.
Yeah, I do. I sleep in pretty well.
Okay. Who is more likely to forget to do their laundry?
Probably definitely me. Definitely me.
Jimmy.
Not even forget, just to put it off.
Just-
I
Yeah,
hate
It's
going
on
upstairs to
purpose.
do it.
Reminds me I have to do laundry later today too.
Really?
Yeah, I've been
Where do you live?
The Palmerton.
Do you have a thing in your room?
Not in our room. It's down the hall, but there's only
Okay.
2 washers and 2 dryers, and
For the
every
whole apartment?
for the whole floor. That whole floor.
Oh, okay.
There's
Still
like 2 on each. Yeah,
I'm
but it's
still
bad
not
because
like
I
that.
always.
That's crazy.
I always try and save it.
every day, all day.
I try and save it for like Sunday nights, but that's when everybody does it, and so I have to
Yeah.
go like floor to floor and just pray I find one. And last Sunday I couldn't find one, so I just delayed my laundry until today. Hopefully,
Yeah.
we'll figure it out. Well, this one kind of got answered earlier, but who's more likely to do the dishes? I mean,
Oh, RC.
yeah.
Right there.
RC.
Okay, next one too. Burn something while cooking. Do you ever cook or no? It just-
No, I'm
okay.
not. I'm horrible cooking. I'm not even started.
Okay.
It's
Okay,
all on
so-
Jimmy.
RC did
Small.
ask me if he could make a grilled chicken on a pan this big.
Aw.
On a skillet this big.
That was so funny.
Eventually, it would cook. It would take.
No, if I taught RC how to cook, he'd be a good cook. RC's good at pretty much everything he does.
All right. Well, who's more likely to be late to practice or to the game?
Wait.
Probably the guy who
Really?
answers fine. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it just
Probably
it
'cause
just-
you don't have a clock.
It just happened. No, it's not about the clock management. It's about my like stupidity. I would say it just like
Aw, don't say that.
happen. It's happened, but
Happens once or twice.
yeah, it's never gonna happen again.
Okay, who's more likely to give a pep talk in the locker room?
I don't know.
Pet talk? What?
Like a pregame
Like a-
speech. Pregame
yeah.
speech.
Oh, pre-game speech.
Yeah.
I would say both of us kind of pretty good in that.
Yeah.
Like
Oh.
we do. You're doing.
We're not really like long when we talk though.
Yeah.
We're just
Yeah.
like short,
Yeah, short.
to the
and sweet.
point.
Short and sweet. More likely to get in a fight in a game. I will say, sorry, really
Honestly,
quick.
probably RC.
The announcers a few times would be like, "Oh, Dowd flew in to like protect Sergeev." I was like, "Oh my god, that's so cute."
Let's go. That's
But
my
RC?
That's
RC.
nice for Jimmy.
You're more likely to.
We are both kind of do,
Scrappy.
but I have
RC
a
got
reputation of
suspended.
suspension.
In
When?
the
In
USHL.
the juniors, I get suspended.
And at
You should
Jersey,
pull up the
punching the
clip.
kid.
See if you can pull it
I
up.
need to pull it up.
Wait,
No,
what did you
don't. Punch the kid.
In like the
And
all
then
goalie gear.
didn't you
It's
throw the
so much
puck at
more
the
funny
ref?
when it's the goalie.
Well, yeah, that's happened
Oh
too.
no! Was it worth it though?
I would not say yes.
Oh,
but
that's not it.
It's,
No,
it
there's
was
haven't
it was
been-
experience. I would say that.
Okay.
RC, do you remember the exact date it was when you punched
Oh
the kid?
hell no! I try to forget it in my mind.
We'll find
Lucky for you, everything on Google is all positive about you. They don't have your suspension
That's
on
good.
here, so you're off the hook for now.
I mean,
Um,
eventually I could pull it up some video. I don't know how it-
All right. Well, if you two got in a fight, who would win?
I don't know. Probably RC.
I feel like I'd have to take RC.
We're
on that
both
one.
I
kind
don't know.
of crazy, but RC's just bigger.
I would say I think the height advantage really.
Yeah.
No
I was
offense, but
gonna
it,
say,
like him being 6'4" kind
I
of
don't
gives
know.
him
Yeah.
a huge
Oh,
advantage.
that's nice. He's being nice.
Yeah. If you had a shootout against each other, it was 1st to 10, who would win? Like you get a point for making a save, and you get a point for scoring. Who'd win?
I don't know. I've never. Oh.
Depends.
That's a good question.
Like breakaway,
Yeah.
I would say.
Well,
I mean, if like point for I save and then
Mhm.
point for he scored,
Yeah.
I would
Probably
say I would say
RC.
I would win because
Yeah.
usually goalies are better in the breakaways than players.
he has a 33% chance of saving it. Or no, I have a 33% chance of scoring every time.
Yeah, it's just like
So he would-
it's just all hockey. It is. It's not
Statistically, he
like
would win.
Just
You don't
me
think
and
luck's on your
Jimmy,
side?
just like as a
Or
hockey it is.
analytically, I guess he would
Jared's breakaway that last weekend was really cool.
win. Yeah, that was.
If you had to switch positions for a day, who would be better?
I would say me.
Yeah, probably.
I think it's also a lot.
I'm nasty as a player. I'm not gonna lie.
I want to watch RC play so bad.
I buy whole player equipment and sit in my tank in the car.
I want to watch you defend the blue line one day, RC.
Yeah, he does have hockey in his trunk.
I have hockey.
That is confirmed.
Yeah.
I think it's also just harder to play goalie in general.
It's so hard. I tried to play with Sully's pads like 2 years ago, and I was so bad. Shoner was like screaming at me. They're going like backdoor, and I'm like, Shoner, come on, dude.
That's-
Her-
So
when
did you
shooting
always want
from,
to be a
like-
goalie?
When I would grow up, yeah, I would say yeah. Just
Tell him about
over-
the equipment in Russia.
Huh?
About the goalie equipment. How they didn't have the one.
Oh yeah. I was supposed to. I'm a lefty. Like I was writing with my left hand and then eating with my left hand. But when I start playing the goalie, they have equipment only for righty goalies. So like go off on the left side and then stick on the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just keep with that, and then now I'm playing as a righty goalie.
Oh my god,
That's kinda
really
crazy.
interesting.
Yeah.
Switch it up.
Do you
man.
think like things would turn out differently if they had lefty equipment? Like, do you think you'd have been better or worse?
You can get used to it. I would say like it just I don't think it's gonna change like a lot.
Not like that big of a difference.
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's like goalie is kind of different position. Not really like using your stick. Or, I mean, you do using your stick, but it's not the main thing what you do.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it just is it is.
Yeah. All right, that concludes Who's More Likely To. Thanks for playing.
I like that one.
Yeah.
That was fun. I want more games like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we
you want to
should-
come on again?
We'll start thinking.
Yeah.
We'll
start
do
thinking of
monthly.
something.
We'll do
monthly
game
episode.
shows.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds
We'll just do
awesome.
like little clips, little
Oh, that
snippets.
sounds
Yeah.
awesome.
We'll make it work. We'll think of more questions.
Okay, sounds good. On a more serious note, Jimmy, you're obviously a captain this season. It seems like you also have a great relationship with the younger guys too. Can you just speak a little bit on how you've developed as a leader and how it's been bringing all these new guys onto the team too?
Yeah, no, I mean, when you think about it, I think there's 9 of them. So that's a huge freshman class coming in. But honestly, a big part of me getting close to them was over the summer. Like, Arsenii was here too. And, like, I know he got pretty close with them as well. But just, like, from being with them over the summer, and, like, it was when they first got here, you know, so they're super excited, but they're also a little bit overwhelmed, like, a little bit out of place. So just, like, helping them kind of guide them in the right direction with whatever they need help with. But, like, on the flip side, too, they've been an unbelievable class. Like, they came in from day one, and they've been working as hard as they can, and it's showing on the ice this year. Like, I think Charlie's been doing unbelievable. Like, the guys in the back end, Cade has been awesome.
Your coach also said, I forget who asked it, someone asked him who was a player that was underrated at the moment, and he said Keaton.
Keaton, yeah.
I think
Like, he's
so.
been unbelievable,
He's,
too.
Yeah, Keaton and Cade
Like,
were
he's
the
just a
names that
horse.
came
Yeah,
Keats.
he's just like
So good
on
in
the
the
puck
face-off
and
thought,
then, like
too.
steal it.
Uh-huh.
And just create the moments from it.
Yeah.
It's just awesome.
But no, like, as a whole, it's been super fun, you know, being a leader for them, like, being one of the older guys.
Youthful older guys, though.
Youthful older guys.
Yeah.
Youthful leader, as
Yeah.
Josh would say.
Well, yeah. I don't know if you've ever heard that story, Kendall. The first media day, I called Jimmy one of the older/oldest guys on the team. He razzed on me for about 30 seconds about it. So now I call him a youthful veteran leader.
Okay, as he comes in his alumni shirt.
People
Okay,
can wear that stuff when they're not graduated. It's fine.
RC, you have played in Pagula a few times now, so like thoughts on Penn State? How are you settling in?
Oh, it's just amazing, and then absolutely gorgeous student section. I absolutely love it. Crazy people going crazy, dancing, screaming, cheering. It's just amazing to see it, and then just all Pagula Center just being great, and it's show up all my expectancy about it.
They need to get a nickname for you. The last 3 starting goalies have all had nicknames. They gotta get you a nickname to chant for you. I mean, it should be easy. I mean, RC is 2.
Yeah.
RC. That's what it should be.
That's what it should be.
That might be.
Tell the Roar Zone.
Were you surprised when you
At
saw
the
them
Roar
like
Zone.
do their
I should.
dances a few times?
I'm still in their group.
It
I can
was
message
great.
them.
Which dance?
Like when they spin around, or I don't know.
Oh,
they do
yeah,
all-
yeah.
Oh,
I saw
the
that.
clapping
That was
one.
so-
That's right
Yeah.
behind. That's
I love
right
it.
behind
I
you
love
too.
it.
'Cause
Yeah,
during the
yeah.
second.
I
Yeah.
love that. It was great.
Do you wanna? You should do it with them one time.
Yeah.
That- they would love
not
that.
the spinning around part. I don't know
Yeah,
if that's gonna be as easy
No, they
as
would
They
Skate,
would-
freak out.
They would actually love that.
they would love. I mean, they already do love you, but they'd love you even more than before.
Is it? You think it's more or less than you expected?
I think it's more actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I heard about college. It's the best college hockey student section, but I didn't know how. what
Yeah.
is it, you know.
It's
So,
crazy. It'll be
Did you
crazy.
guys
this
have a
weekend.
student section at UConn?
we did have a student section, but it's not as good. Not
Not as organized.
Yeah.
Is it behind the net still, or is it
Yeah,
like a
it's
different
behind
spot?
the net,
Okay,
yeah.
because
It's just 3 times smaller.
that's what I figured. Most of them are behind the net, and this is one of several things I don't like about Michigan is that their student section is off to the side.
Yeah.
It's so
Really?
weird.
It's on the right side. So
Yeah,
if
when you go
you're
there,
in net
yeah.
and you're looking this way, they're all along this side, behind our bench.
That's so weird.
It's such a weird spot. You'll see it when you go to Yost.
They have a cool student section though.
It's a cool student section, just in a weird spot.
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect it to be.
Yeah.
Like
I
on
mean,
the far side of the
I'd
wall.
rather have student section right behind that. I think it's so
Yeah.
cool to have.
Yeah, I would. I mean, if I was a college player, I'd
Yeah,
want the
Michigan
student section
still
behind me.
sucks. Anyway, guys, we have to quickly address last weekend. I'm going to ask you one question and then we'll move on, okay?
Okay.
Obviously a big thanks, Arsenii. Like the biggest theme takeaway issue from the weekend was starting slow. You guys really, really struggled coming out and then looked like a different team in the second and third periods. What have you guys been doing this week? The big question is just like, how can you fix that?
Yeah, like obviously we're 0-4 in our last 4 games, so it's the unfortunate reality of things. And our starts haven't been great. So, I mean, this week we've sort of just been focusing on executing during practice, doing the little things right, being prepared, being dialed in for practice so it translates over to the weekend, taking care of our bodies. We have 4 games coming up here in 6 days, I think, so it's going to be a fun little stretch. But just being ready, and so when we get to the weekend, we know what we have to do, and we can come out, because we've seen it when we come out on top, and we're all over teams in the first 5-10 minutes. Like, they don't get a sniff of anything. Like, when we've beat Michigan and Minnesota in the past, like, they just shut down when we get all over them, and that's what we have to do this weekend. Just get pucks in, play that hard-nosed hockey, play with instinct, and just keep the all-around motive just positive all over.
Yeah. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think it's a great test, and then just need to work hard and then hope for the best.
Yeah. I know it didn't turn out the way you guys wanted, and obviously that was the big negative, but there were so many, me and Josh spoke before you guys came in, there were so many positives that came out of the weekend. So this upcoming weekend should be good. So any expectations or comments from you guys about the weekend, what you want to see from the rest of the team?
No, I mean, we know what we have to do. Like, we worked on it all week. We had an off day today, so we got to recover. But we're just excited. I mean, I'm excited. I know Arsenii excited.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
So
It's gonna be great.
we're back at
It's
the
another
goal. I
opportunity,
mean,
and then we have to take it
exactly.
all.
Yeah, how does it feel to finally have like this stretch of at least playing at home? Because you guys were kind of not just really even on the road, but then you had the bye weeks.
Yeah, it
sprinkled in there
was
too.
super weird
Yeah,
Could you only-
to have the bye weeks that
and
early in the
stuff.
year. I'm going to be honest.
It's
Yeah.
so weird too, because like normally by this point you guys have played, like, at least the last few years, like you guys have played like 3 or 4 series at home. by
Yeah.
now,
Yeah, we
but-
kept saying we felt like the season didn't start because like it took you guys so long to play
Yeah.
at home.
Yeah, it's
The
also like
Alaska
a
trip.
lot of stretch and
Yeah.
stuff. You just
Yeah.
you
I
have
think
to
it's
catch
great
your wave
that-
and then like keep playing like your game.
Yeah, it's so
Instead
weird.
of like just like have a good game, break it up with the break, and then like come
Yeah,
back to.
that's tough.
That was so annoying about like the Minnesota, like right after it fall, like was a bye week, because I feel like you guys were playing your best hockey right after Minnesota.
Yeah, we played very well that weekend.
Yeah. But I'm excited to watch Michigan this weekend. I think it's great that the first series is at home again.
agree.
I have a lot of faith. I always do when they play Michigan, especially since, what was that, 2 years ago? You guys almost swept them at home.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we won the first night, then we lost in overtime.
yeah, but you came back from down 3.
Yeah, no, that
Seen
whole
this film before.
that was one of the coolest series I've ever been a part of.
Arsenii,
Probably the
that
coolest
was
series.
that.
Really?
It was already crazy because going into that, Michigan was number 1. You guys were like 15 or
Yeah, something like
It
that.
was one of the few
14.
times that Penn State and Michigan were both ranked when they play. So loud in that arena.
Yeah.
And then when was it Lampa that scored
I think it was
the game tying goal in game
Yeah.
2? I think I lost my hearing for a good 2
It
minutes.
was so fun.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Well, you can experience that this weekend, RC, because you guys are going to do it again.
You're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah.
This place, it's awesome when Michigan comes to town.
Yeah.
When anybody comes to town, but especially Michigan, because
Yeah.
nobody
Yeah,
likes
Michigan's
them.
a big school, big team.
Hmm
Mhm.
Great to beat them.
Yeah.
They'll be packed. with
Oh,
all those
yeah.
NHL scouts or whatever.
Does our football team play this weekend?
Yeah, but they're on the road in Minnesota.
At Minnesota.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I saw a video of Landon breaking down their quarterback
hmm I love watching Landon do that. He's great.
and how he looks for short passes.
I'm gonna mention that I'm on the broadcast this week. I gotta go
Yeah.
out there, and I leave tomorrow. And I leave in like 7 hours.
You're
actually.
going out?
Yeah,
No way. Wait, what? You leave in 7 hours?
yeah. Our flight. We're going a day early. Our flight leaves at 4. Our flight leaves at 5 in the morning, so we're getting there at 4.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, we're breaking out the Big 10 Plus stream too this weekend, so I'm going to have to talk to you guys in between periods, so I'm hoping you're doing well so that it won't be.
Wait, no way. You're doing like the in-between period interviews?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
I'm a little bit nervous because, like, if the game's not going, it's just the worst when people, like, don't want to, like, they're just so mad and don't want to talk to
Yeah.
you, but we'll see.
I'm glad they're bringing that back, or at least
Yeah.
they're adding it.
Yeah, well, they're trying, they were waiting because, like, it is a lot of work because it's hard with, like, the rink is really tricky, like camera angle
Yeah.
wise. That space is so tight, and like the only way to that tunnel is like through the locker room. So then it's like, how do we get her in and out? Like, because I can't be in there when you guys are
Yeah.
gone. But anyway, they wanted to try it out for Michigan because obviously
Wish they
it's a
done it
big
last
series.
week. I would have been able to toss it down to you, man.
Yeah. Kendall thought so. I'd be like, I don't
Yeah.
know what to say.
Hey, at least everybody got to see me on the big screen. Miss my teddy bear toss
Yes.
through from the press
No
box.
That's really
way.
unfortunate.
I had
That's hilarious.
I dunked it in the press box or the penalty box.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
It's okay. It's a thought that counts.
Yeah.
Yeah, John razzed me about it for a bit.
What was the best teddy bear thrown or stuffed animal?
No, my favorite part was there's like giant raccoon that some like 5-year-old kid was trying to throw, but he got stuck in between the boards.
Yeah, it's
So they had
always
to,
the
like-
ones that get stuck.
Yeah, they like rip it out. The best part too about it was that everyone started early this year. Like they always wait for the in-arena announcer to say it, but no one did.
Oh,
So
really?
half the teddy bears were on the ice before
Yeah,
they
and
started.
then what's his name? Rodney came. He was like, "Stop throwing the bears! Stop!" And like no one listened. They just kept throwing.
Did they do it after the first period or the whole game?
First period.
First period.
Morale
Yeah.
was quite low.
I forgot. You guys don't ever get to see that because you guys are just in the locker
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
We didn't see it.
Like in juniors, when we would do teddy bear toss, it would be like first goal, and then all the teddy bear tosses get thrown on the ice.
I think that's how they should do it, but
Yeah,
they
me
can't
too.
because
like
of the
TV,
and the nets
everything,
and
the
stuff.
whole
Yeah, that
program
would be messy.
system.
It's annoying, but they should so switch it so it's like that.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, we're really excited for you guys this weekend. We have faith in you, especially King RC. You're gonna have a great weekend. Hopefully, beat Michigan,
Thank
and
Yes.
you too, Jimmy. Maybe
Thank
get your
you.
first goal.
Yes. That would be nice.
All right, thanks, guys.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
Thanks for having us on.
Yeah. Okay, see you next week. I'm your host, Kendall Skalicki.
And I'm Josh Bartosik.
Jimmy Dowd Jr.
Arsenii Sergeev, and this is Gloves Off.